welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really zeroing in on a very specific area, insurance for professional driving instructors and their schools. It's a bit niche, focused heavily on risk management right here in Ontario. We've looked at some sources that, well, they pretty clearly show why your standard car insurance just doesn't cut it.
Exactly. And we want to give you the, let's say, the fast track on this. The main thing to grasp is, well, for an instructor, that car isn't just a car anymore. It's fundamentally different. It becomes, the classroom. And the minute a student gets behind the wheel, the whole risk picture changes completely.
Okay, so let's dive right into that risk picture then. Section 1.
Yeah. The instructor's unique liability. I mean, if the car is how you make your living, your professional tool, shouldn't just like a normal commercial auto policy cover that? It sort of feels like it should. Why doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the common assumption. But it's really about the difference between driving yourself for work and actively teaching someone else how to drive.
Standard commercial policies, they're built around, the expected actions of someone who already knows how to drive professionally. They often have this critical exclusion for high-risk activities.
And teaching a brand new driver definitely falls into high risk, I imagine. What's the big consequence of that exclusion?
Oh, it's huge. It really is. This special insurance, the one we're talking about, it specifically addresses the act of instruction. It covers damage, accidents, whatever, caused by the student. Without that specific coverage, that add-on, if a student messes up, say, they misjudge a corner, wreck the car, or worse, hurt someone else, the standard insurer, they're very likely going to say, nope, sorry. Because the root cause was, well, driver inexperience during a paid lesson.
Which leaves the instructor holding the bag.
Completely. Personally liable could be tens of thousands easily. Damages, lawsuits, you name it. That's really the core reason this tailored coverage is absolutely essential.
So it's not just about a dented fender. We're talking potential financial disaster if you miss this one specific piece of paper.
Absolutely. It shifts the risk entirely from a predictable commercial risk to this dynamic, unpredictable learning risk.
Okay. Danger zone established. So how do you plug that gap? What are the specific things in this specialized policy that you just won't find in regular auto insurance?
Well, the sources get into the details, the required parts, but the main focus is always closing that student liability issue, the absolute must-have piece. They call it the student driving add-on.
Right. That sounds like the key phrase. That's the specific protection you need.
That's the one. It's that extra layer purely for incidents happening during those official paid lessons. But you also need the basics underneath it, of course.
Like what?
Like strong third-party liability insurance. That covers your legal responsibility if the vehicle causes injury or property damage. Doesn't matter who was technically driving at that exact moment.
And the car itself, being the moneymaker, needs protection too, right?
Exactly. That's your vehicle damage coverage. Protects the asset itself, collision, fire, theft, the usual physical risks. All three are vital. But crucially, if you strip away that student driving add-on, you're basically back to square one with a policy that's just not sufficient.
Got it. Very clear on the policy structure. Now, let's make this real for you listening, getting a quote for this kind of thing. The providers need a lot of detail, don't they? What are they actually asking for?
Oh, it's incredibly specific, which makes sense, right? They're trying to price a risk that varies hugely from person to person. Yes, the basic vehicle info, like a 2020 Honda CR-V, but then they really dig into the instructor's history.
Wait, the instructor's history. They need the exact dates for G1, G2, and the full G license. Day, month, year. That feels intense.
It does, doesn't it?
Why worry so much about the instructor's G date from years ago if it's the student having the accident during the lesson?
It's about their underwriting philosophy, you see. They're sizing up the instructor's overall experience and risk level. The thinking is that experience directly impacts how well they can manage and supervise the student.
So the quality of the supervision.
Exactly. They need the total number of infractions, say total 2, and then the nitty-gritty on each one. Stop sign violation on this date, speeding 15 over on that date. Like you said, intense.
Wow, they really are drilling down. Seems like they want to know everything short of your favorite color.
Feels like it sometimes. But it's all about building that complete risk profile. That level of detail helps them gauge the instructor's general driving habits. And to the insurer, that links directly to how they might handle a student in a tricky spot.
Okay, move on to how this works day to day. Flexibility is always a big deal for small business folks. An instructor might just do this evenings and weekends or run a whole school. How do these policies adapt?
Yeah, flexibility is crucial here. The sources really highlight that they offer flexible, custom options. The idea is to match the policy to how the instructor actually operates and their budget.
So like different rates for part-time versus full-time?
Pretty much. A part-timer might need coverage structured around, say, specific days or maybe lower mileage limits per year. A full-time school obviously needs that robust year-round coverage. The policy can be adjusted for those kinds of things.
And then the inevitable happens. Someone clips a mirror, or worse. How good is the support when you need to make a claim? That's always the moment of truth with insurance.
Right. And they seem to position themselves specifically to ease that pain point. They talk about expert support, fast claims. The aim is professional help, quick processing, really minimizing the time the car's off the road because that's lost income for the instructor.
Makes sense. That's where the specialization really pays off, I guess. And it seems backed up by the fact they mentioned specific driving instructor insurance specialists, names like Wallace Lai, Stone Check, Wesley Tsai. It's not just some general call center agent.
Yeah, that's a key indicator, isn't it? It shows the complexity. You need people who really understand the ins and outs of that student driving add-on, especially within the Ontario legal context.
Okay, so if we zoom out a little, this service comes from Goodrates Insurance, which is part of Broker Team Insurance Solutions, Inc. Looking at what else they handled gives you a pretty interesting view on risk, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's quite the contrast. On one hand, this provider deals with massive, potentially catastrophic commercial risks. Think huge claims for commercial property fires, complex cyber liability, manufacturer's insurance, big stuff.
Right.
But they also focus intently on the micro risk of one student, misjudging one stop sign during one lesson.
It's a massive range. They're juggling these complex data-heavy risk models for something like a cyber breach.
Yeah.
And then also the very unpredictable, very human element of someone learning to drive.
Which brings us nicely towards wrapping up.
Perfect timing. Okay, let's bring it home. What's the absolute key takeaway for any professional instructor listening right now?
The number one thing is standard insurance, even standard commercial auto insurance, is almost certainly not enough. You need coverage that specifically contractually covers incidents caused by your students during lessons, period.
No gray areas.
No gray areas. Relying on anything less leaves you dangerously exposed personally if something goes wrong. And the sources suggest if you need this specialized coverage for operating in Ontario, your best bet is a direct consultation. They provide the number 647-889-4663.
Right, 647-889-4663.
Got it. And that comparison you made about the different types of risk they handle, it really is thought-provoking.
Isn't it? When you see a provider handling these enormous, quantifiable commercial risks, data breaches, factory issues, things, often modeled with tons of global data,
Yeah.
but they still needed to create and specifically market this unique student driving add-on.
Well, it makes you think about the underlying math, doesn't it?
It does.
So here's the final question for you to chew on. Which risk is actually harder for the insurance world to predict and put a price on? Is it the potential for a large-scale, but perhaps statistically modelable business catastrophe? Or is it the split-second, unpredictable judgment call of an 18-year-old on maybe their third time behind the wheel? The very existence of that specific add-on suggests maybe, just maybe, that human learning factor is the toughest puzzle of all for underwriters.
That's a fantastic point to consider when you're reviewing your own coverage. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.
My pleasure.
We'll catch you next time.
Does your insurance agent specialize in driving schools? Goodrates Insurance. Your driving school and Instructor insurance professional. Protect yourself and your assets with the right insurance coverage. Keep your insurance coverage affordable. Get a quote from Fred. Please call now 647-889-4663. We are driving school insurance specialists. Our knowledge of all the risks a driving school faces each day allows us to find your business the best coverage in the industry.